I've learned so much from my travels. Whether with my family or during my time in the Army, my exposure to the world outside Canada has made me better. In this NSP short, Sarah Goldfeder explains the U.S. Peace Corps and the value add of this type of organization.
The Peace Corps was thought to be kind of a tool of soft power, a way that we could export kind of the best of America out to the rest of the world. So take some of this great knowledge. And one of the things that we also have in the States, it's a little bit different than the model here in Canada, was these state universities that train people in agriculture. And so in agriculture science and in engineering science, and those schools were pumping out students that had this background in how to feed the world. Like they were actually thinking about, crop management. And so a lot of the original Peace Corps was based on three different things: teaching people about democracy, teaching people about America and kind of the American ideal, and then teaching people how to feed themselves. So kind of focused on those things, and also providing clean water sources for communities. So it's built out of that, and it still does that. And those are kind of still the major areas of focus are, providing agricultural knowledge and a knowledge of how to build out sanitary systems that can provide clean water, in a clean environment, disease-free environment for people. And then also teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic, mostly in English. But there's a lot of language learning now that happens inside the Peace Corps for the Peace Corps volunteers. So they still do what they did. Like there was a pause. It was underfunded during the Trump administration, and that was followed up by a pause during COVID, but they're back up and running. And I think in many ways, what they provide for the United States is this pool of employees for USAID and the State Department and the military, of people who are pretty fearless, who are willing to go into really areas and communities that are beyond their comfort zone, things that they've never experienced, and do things that are really hard. And they come back to the States with this kind of global perspective and also an understanding of what it is the rest of the world faces, which I think sometimes we miss, sitting in what is a very well-developed economy. And, when you live in those environments and you see the challenges that those communities and governments have, it changes you a bit. And so it brings a new perspective and a lot of really great resources. So it was kind of a double-edged thing for the States, is we were both export this great thing, the best thing we possibly had, our young people. And in return, we would get back these people that had this great experience and knowledge base and connections globally.